Hello, this is Eros Christos. Aloha from Hawaii. And, guten Abend, good evening, buonasera, god kväll, schön guten Abend, bonsoir, buonanotte, buenas noches. All these different languages, right? And as always, the real language is really from the heart. So again, I welcome myself and I welcome all of you from my heart to your heart. There is really no better way of welcoming oneself and everybody else in this way, because as we acknowledge who we are from the heart, we are automatically acknowledging other people in the same way. So the mirror becomes crystal clear and there is really no confusion. Anyway, so happy Monday, happy beginning of the new week. And I just want to expand a little bit about what I talked about last time. It's about all of us coming out now, really sharing who we are. There is no more time to hide. There is no more time to choose moments where it's better to share certain things. It's very, very important that we all start sharing really, truly, because so many of us have wonderful gifts and have many things to share and assist people with, and it hasn't been encouraged. So yes, so I'm encouraging myself and I'm encouraging all of you. So I mentioned last time that I'm a walk-in, and I said I'm going to expand a little bit more on that. So let me backtrack here. So in the past life, I was in Germany during the Second World War. Apparently, I was trained to be a spy. No, not like James Bond, but I was trained to be a spy and work for the Allies, against the German government, which is really a complex matter because there were a lot of scapegoats there. And anyway, and I was a pilot. And I remember the small group I was working with, we had a ball. I mean, it was exciting, and it was a very dangerous life, obviously. However, the thrill of it all couldn't be taken away. So even through fears and things like that, still the thrill took over. And, excuse me. And, so the thrill took over, right? And I saw myself in a vision. At one point, my plane had been shot, and I had to catapult out of the plane, right? And so my soul left my body, hovered underneath the body, and took it very gently and very, very slowly down to planet Earth. And then it entered back into the body. That was pretty amazing. And in that vision, I saw that was wow. And then when the plane was shut down and went up in flames, there was another time, I went into total ecstasy. I mean, basically, I was liberated at that time, and the feeling was just so amazing. It was just powerful and very, very, ecstatic. And so, however, because I had died when I was 25 years of age, I decided to come back quickly And so I entered into this body not that long after. But because I was liberated in that past life, I really didn't have to go through the birth channel. I didn't really have to do the normal thing. I could choose how I wanted to enter into a body. So I chose to take over this body from somebody else who was ready to leave it when the body was about 11 years of age. So why am I sharing this? Well, first of all, it's not a big deal to be a walk-in, because there are so many ways we can enter into any planetary system, and it's very important to start sharing this, because we have been so indoctrinated that life happens in this way and play itself out in this way. You're born, you live, and you die, right? And this is that circle that everybody has been programmed with, until one day your soul says, all right, I've done this. This doesn't really do anything for me anymore. I like to shift this, right? So that's why I'm sharing it. It's not a big deal, really. And there are many ways of entering into a body. I mean, some of the masters, they create a body in the ether, and then when they created the body, they occupy it to do their work, And it's not that uncommon. However, it's time to start sharing this. So, and what's happening on the planet right now, and there isn't a major awakening in the sense that people are starting seeing that they have been led to believe something that's not necessarily so. And of course, the current situation on the planet is almost like a beacon showing people, you haven't just been lied about this current situation, you have been lied about most things you thought was your history, and so it's a challenging time, because once you have to realize that everything you thought was so is not going to show up. It's not like that at all. So basically, there have been two lives, if you like. The life of the masses that are being shown a movie, and then there's a parallel to that, the life of the people, the Cabal, the Illuminati, and all of these who has been running the show, right? But they have a total different life. And so they just play this movie for the masses to entertain us and keep us in the movie, because once we are realizing, wow, we are being shown a movie, then we are really not, we are free from the manipulation and the control, right? Because we're saying, okay, I'm not interested in this movie anymore. I really want to know what's going on, right? So now everybody's being forced to take a look at things that otherwise we might not take a look at. And so everything that happens in the consciousness, it always has a wonderful slant to it as well. I used to have a friend in Hawaii, a 9th generation kahuna, and I'm saying used to because I haven't spoken to him for many, many years, and I don't know if he's in his physical body even. So, and the kahunas were like the high priests, the shamans, and really, really, really brilliant people. And I mean, he used to take us on herbal walks, and he would say, this tree, this bush, this flower, whatever it was, he could tell all about the healing properties of anything he showed us, right? He said, you don't need a pharmacy if you understand. Nature has it all. However, what he was sharing, he said, when there's a new virus or a new sickness or something that appears on the planet, automatically Mother Earth produces an herb or something that will heal it and help in that situation. So there is really nothing that can happen because it's all within the same divine consciousness, right? And so the consciousness will always create to find the balance from chaos to balance, right? So, so going back to a lot of the information that I have been receiving and been sharing through the years, I mean, I didn't study much. I quit school when I was 16 and it was pretty boring. I couldn't see the point in it, right? Because it didn't bring me anything. I couldn't understand, okay, what is that going to help me to understand who I really am? And so these informations that have come through me spontaneously has happened through time, through the years. When I needed something to understand something emerged, and then I was taught how to be with that, and then the next time something else. In that way, all through this journey, until recently, I started to remember in increments, bits and pieces. However, now it's going quicker and quicker, and that's why I wanted to share a little bit about this, because I've said before, there's one person right now here watching it, and maybe there will be more later on in the review or in the rerun, but it doesn't really matter because I'm still going to share it, right? Because that one person or that person who will watch it later on, it might be exactly what he or she needed to really have some sort of an awakening, right? I don't know that. However, I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing. So being a walk-in, I came here in my ship, and it was in the night, and it was very, very dark. Well, it was in the night, obviously. So, however, the energy was very low. It was very dark energy, and I say that in the in early 50s in Sweden. I mean, Sweden was pretty out of everything. I mean, the energy there wasn't like manipulated and controlled and in any way, shape or form, right? But it still was dark energy. And so then later on, when I entered into this body, my father was really a very stout businessman. It was either black or white, right? He tried to change me many times. Not so successful. However, he said, "Who are you? I mean, you look the same, but who are you?" He somehow detected that the son who was inhabiting this body before wasn't there anymore. And at another event, he said he had for him a spiritual experience, and he said to me, "I have no idea, but I know you're the only one who will understand that. I'll understand this." And for him to say that was a big deal, because he felt like I wasn't very talented and intelligent for for the world, and he tried to guide me in a way, right? And of course, I said it didn't really work. So for him, it was like a dichotomy, almost, like, who is my son, who I know will understand this. But then when I try to explain to him about just simple things in life, he seems to be clueless. Yeah, because it's always backwards. As far as I'm concerned and could perceive, it was all backwards. So, and that's been my understanding all along, right? And and because I'm a walk-in, the veil that normally is put on you when you go through the birth channel, there's that veil that drops over you, and you kind of don't know who you are again, and you have to start relearning and remembering and all of that, right? But yes, the veil was over me. However, I knew that I knew. I just needed to access what I knew, right? So the veil wasn't put over in such a way that I had to find out who I am really. I knew who I was, but I couldn't really access that energy or that wisdom, right? So, and because of that, I could recognize all through my life when the manipulation and the control was happening, and somebody said, this is what you have to do, or this is what you shouldn't do, all of that. I was very aware, also my intuition was extremely powerful, almost to a degree where I was, I didn't like it sometimes because I knew what was going to happen, and then people were lying about the very thing I knew, and it was kind of, how do you deal with that? And so that happened many times in my life. So, but what all of this led to was that I knew I had full earth duty, and it was funny because I mentioned I died in that as a pilot in the Second World War as a German, right? So when I grew up in Sweden, I had all of these military planes on my walls. I mean, everywhere. And then I had little kits, you put together planes, and they were all military planes. And I had this love for Germany. And in those days in Sweden, most people didn't have that much love for Germany because of the war and all of that, right? But I had this love for Germany, and then at the same time, I was scared of flying. I had no idea why I was scared of flying, and I remember the first time I flew, I was like terrified because I had forgotten the bliss of it. I had forgotten that ecstasy. At that moment, I only remembered that I had been in an airplane crash, and the bliss and the ecstasy of it wasn't experienced because I had to be fully in this human body, understanding what it is to be in a human body, understanding the lessons and the challenges, so I can do the work that I'm doing right now. And basically, I've been in boot camp and to be able to do what I'm doing right now. And truthfully, I'm in Hawaii right now. That's all I know. Where will be next month or 2 months from now, I don't know. And that's part of my job here, not to plan too much, not to expect anything, just be ready to leave at any given moment. And it's sometimes cumbersome. However, so far it's been working really well, even though it's been sometimes like, I don't want to do it anymore. So, yeah. So anyway, and so that's why I'm sharing this, because there are other people who have similar stories, similar experiences, and it's just time to share it, Let's not just share our boring stories that are so predictable and that are so limited and have no real vibration, So let's really go to the source of who we are and what we are here to do, really here to do. And as more and more of us make that commitment, we are realizing we have to take care of Mother Earth. We have to be stewards of this beautiful blue planet. And the oceans are dying rapidly. 2/3 of the coral reefs 3-4 years ago was already gone. How many it's now, I don't know. However, I know that the oceans are dying. And so it's our job to really become stewards of the planet and start, because otherwise it doesn't matter what's going to happen, we won't have a planet. It's simply as that, because the oceans are dying. It's basically the lungs of the planet, and when your lungs are not operating well. So again, I'm urging all of us to come together and really be present with the gift of Mother Earth, with the gift of life, and take it lightly. However, don't take it lightly, right? So be joyous, be happy, be like a dolphin. Play, swim, enjoy, and allow that wisdom to spontaneously bubble up from within you. And yeah, and if anybody has any questions, um, right now we had two people for a while. Now we have no one. Anyway, as I said, it's all good because truly, this really represents the truth, right? There is nobody. There's only one being showing up as Eros and the entire world and planets and galaxies, right? So there's no you and me as such. There really isn't. So this is perfect. I'm talking to myself, and that's always the case. So, yeah. So let's see here. So if there's anything specific you would like to ask or something like that, and this Wednesday we're continuing our journey, our adventure, Galactic Human Dolphin Connection, and you can come for one Wednesday, or you can come for several Wednesdays. Whatever you choose is fine, because you're not going to miss anything because you weren't there the last Wednesday or something like that. And I will be doing the Sonic codes each time, and just for that simple reason, I empower and encourage you. The Sonic codes has shown through 30 years now that it shifts people in many different ways and on many different levels. I've had some very, very powerful testimonials. Eros.life, my website, you can check that out, and the testimonials. And those are just a few, obviously. However, so the Sonic codes are extremely, extremely potent. It's like standing under a waterfall. You're going to get wet either way. It doesn't matter what you think or don't think, you're going to get wet, right? So, yeah. And also, it's a great test to do these spontaneous talks and have nobody listening, because if you see there's 10 people, 20 people, you feel inspired, right? However, I'm inspired anyway. Look, I have all this greenery and all this beautiful energy from Mother Nature all around me, and who knows, maybe my galactic family is in a different dimension and are listening. They probably are, and are guiding me a little bit in this, right? So no, I don't really care. I'm doing this. I'm inspired just by breathing, by understanding who I am. That's enough inspiration right there. So, yeah. So remember, we're all great beings. We truly are. We are tremendous lights, and it's time to acknowledge it. We cannot play small anymore. We need to understand who we really are, spiritual warriors on the planet for a specific reason. Right now, we signed up on the dotted line, and now it's time to remember our commitment and our missions and come together, as I like to say, one heart, one mind, Dolphin Pod consciousness. So, yeah, so I wish all of us a beautiful evening, a beautiful night, a beautiful morning, in all the different languages, and however, again, the language from the heart. And remember, the heart is the voice of love. Listen to it. Trust it and follow it. And in a conflict between the mind and the heart, always choose the heart. Mahalo, aloha, namaste, vielen Dank, merci, gracias, grazie, tack så mycket. Yeah, in any language, I wish you an amazing adventure on this planet, and until we meet again. And yeah, aloha and mahalo. Ciao.